Welcome to the Ultimate Internet Marketing Toolkit. In this video series, we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at the beginning steps of becoming an internet marketer. A lot of times you might purchase a product on how to make money online or dive into the forums, and a lot of times I find that people just starting out are often lost because a lot of the core beginning concepts are not taught in those types of courses. So that's why I wanted to create this course, to really start at the beginning. This video series is going to take you by the hand and show you how to do things like choose a domain name and get it registered, and set up your hosting account and create an email account. We're also going to take a closer look at the different ways to make money online. Not in super detail, but just overall to give you an idea. Things like article marketing and pay-per-click and search engine optimization. Just things, buzzwords that you hear all the time, but if you're lost and you don't know, what they mean, that's what this is for. Now, you're bound to come across things you already know. That's okay. The video series is set up that you can skip things, or maybe you want to view it a second time to make sure you understand what you need to know about that topic. So again, this is a great starting point for people and also a good reference point as well. So let's go ahead then and get started by taking a look at the first tool in the toolkit. I'll see you in the next video. What is affiliate marketing? Please note, affiliate marketing is also referred to as internet marketing. Throughout the video series you might hear me say either or. They're pretty much the same thing. Affiliate marketing, according to Wikipedia, is a method of promoting web businesses where an affiliate is rewarded for every sale made through their efforts. Basically what this means is going out, finding something that you'd like to sell, and then, of course, selling it, and every sale that you make, you get a commission on. But here's the catch. You don't need to have a attic full of your product. Let's say, for example, that you want to sell something, a book. You don't need to have the physical books at your place. You go ahead and you get the sale, and then the person that you sold for ships the book, but they recognize that you made the sale for them, and then of course give you a commission. So it's actually pretty cool because one of the things that's difficult with sales is, if you were to open up a store, it's difficult. Of course, it takes a lot of money to stock products. You don't have to do that, and also, you don't know what the demand is going to be like. So with internet marketing, and you can sit down, you can try to sell something, and if it doesn't work, you just switch to something else, and then of course you don't have to return any products or anything like that. You only get paid when you sell something. Now I'd like to show you an example of affiliate marketing in action. I am at a place called ClickBank. ClickBank is a place for affiliate marketing where you can go to find products that you can sell. Please note, all of ClickBank's products are actually digital. We'll talk a little bit more about ClickBank a little bit later, but I just want to go ahead and show you. I'm going to go ahead and search the marketplace for dog training. You can see here that some weird stuff came up. Let's just try dog. Okay, Secrets to Dog Training updated. Essentially what this is a product that someone created on how to train a dog. You can see the sales letter here, and the cost of this product is I think it's around like $47, something like that. So here's the catch. I go out and I convince my friend to buy this because I know that my friend has been having some problems with her dog. So I get him to buy this, but of course he buys it through my special affiliate link. What will happen is my friend will purchase this, of course, for the $47. However, I will get 3/4 of that sale. Is that insane or what? 75% actually goes to the person that made the sale, which is me. So what you're going to find is with affiliate marketing, oftentimes the sales commission is very high. So what happens then is, you might find yourself, you sell a product for $100, you might get $50 from that sale, or $75 from that sale. Now can you see why affiliate marketing is so exciting? Because again, you don't have to do things like stock your store, and it's not that hard to get out and get set up. You can join ClickBank for free. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But once you get going, then you're all set, and you have your affiliate link, and you can start making sales. So that's essentially what affiliate marketing is. In the next video, we're going to summarize the advantages, why you absolutely need to be doing it, because it is a fantastic way to make money without leaving your home, and we'll talk about that in the next video. I'll see you there. Why you should do affiliate marketing. There are actually a lot of good reasons to do affiliate marketing. There are many advantages, including it doesn't cost anything, like I mentioned before. Of course, there are things that you can do that will cost money, and then you might see results come quicker. But I want to really emphasize that you can literally get started in this today and not spend a dime. You're limited only by your imagination. There are so many unique ways to promote things online, and if you were, for example, to sell Avon products, you're going to find that there are some limitations that you need to follow in how you sell. Whereas with a lot of things online, they kind of leave it up to you. Of course, you can't do anything illegal or shady or unethical, but again, you can do all these very exciting things. If you wanted to sell the dog product, you could go to a dog forum and just start creating an account and talking about the product, and you'd be surprised how well just that works, as simple as it sounds. Countless everyday people are successful with that. I want to really point that out to you, that you find stories all the time of people that do not have a formal marketing education jumping online and doing well. Now, it isn't as easy as it sounds. It does take hard work, dedication, and you have to keep at it. You're not going to get rich the first time you sit down. Believe me, I wish that was the case, but it isn't. But I really want to stress to you that just because you don't have any formal training in the past, you can get this going because it's there. There are tons of forums dedicated to helping other people, and you don't need to sink a mint into getting this education. You can just get out there and start trying things and learn as you go about doing things. You don't have to stock physical products. Again, if I was going to open up a retail store, my I start to sweat thinking about all the money that it would cost to stock the store, the loans and everything. Whereas with this, you can sit down and you can join an affiliate program such as Commission Junction or ClickBank and have literally thousands of products right at your fingertips that you're approved to sell. You also don't have to ship any products too, because again, you just got to get the sale. That means that if something goes wrong with the sale, it's not your problem. That's the person that providing the product. They have to take care of those types of things. So again, you don't have any customer relations. You just have to get the lead and get it to convert, and then you're set. You can sell anything you can think of, really. I mentioned ClickBank, but there are so many things out there. You could go to Google and type in whatever it is you're interested in, and then affiliate. Let me go ahead and show you an example. Let's say that I'm into roller skates. Okay? Just going to type roller skates and then affiliate. Let's see what comes up. Okay, well, here you go. Here is Roller Skates Unlimited Affiliate Program. Okay, now this is the best example because they're only willing to pay you 5% of the total sale, but still you get the idea. There are literally tons and tons of things out there that you can sell, and if there's a market for it and it's something that you're interested in possibly, I can tell you what, there's going to be an affiliate program out there for it. All you have to do is look. There are many, many, many tools and resources available for help. I really want to stress this as it is very important. That you're not reinventing the wheel here. There is a huge community online of people that are just out there. They're trying to learn as well, and they're helpful in sharing advice. Places like the Warrior Forum, Digital Point. These are places where you find a lot of people just starting out. Easy to scale once you're successful. This is also an important thing to note. You find something that works, and then you can roll it out on a bigger level. So if you find something that's going to make you a couple dollars a day, then you need to figure out what to do to take it to the next level. Again, you're not going to start out in affiliate marketing and be making thousands of dollars on your first day. But the thing is, you get a sale, and then you find out what happened, and then of course you repeat that. Tool number 1, popular internet marketing methods. Essentially, the next videos are going to take a look at individual methods that are performed online through internet marketing. We're going to be talking about things like article marketing, pay-per-click, social networking, and these are buzzwords perhaps that you've heard but didn't really understand exactly what they were, or you're interested in learning more about them. We're going to take it, we're going to break it down, and each video will explain exactly what it is. Again, you'd be surprised how many people don't know some of these things, and that's okay. That's what this video series is all about. So again, if there's something that you already know, that's okay. Feel free to go ahead and skip forward to something that you don't know. I'll see you in the next video. The first method we're going to look at is the very popular pay-per-click. Often you see this abbreviated as PPC. Essentially, pay-per-click is defined by Wikipedia as internet advertising model used on websites in which advertisers pay their host only when their ad is clicked. Now, I went on and on talking about how you can get involved in internet marketing for free, and this is actually a paid method, so maybe I shouldn't have started off with it. But nonetheless, it's very popular, so here it is. Let's say that I go to Google to find out more about dog training. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in dog training. Okay, now a wealth of information comes up here. We see some natural search results here, and also some ads along the side. These ads are the pay-per-click that I mentioned. Essentially what happens is you can go out there today and sign up for something called an AdWords account. And what happens is then you create an ad and it is displayed. You choose whatever word you want it to be displayed for. And then what happens is every time this ad is displayed, it doesn't cost anything. What costs something is whenever somebody chooses to click on the link. So that means that if your ad is displayed 100 times and somebody only clicks on it 3 of those times, you're only going to pay 3 times. Now the cost that you pay can vary anywhere from a penny or 5 cents all the way up to several dollars. Things like mortgage rates, low mortgage rate, let's say here. These ads are top dollar here. And then, of course, we have things that are going to be much, much lower. So, it really depends. But essentially what happens here is this is very exciting because it means that you can literally get your information in front of the world right away. We talk about other things like building a website and doing search engine optimization. These types of things are going to take time to see effect, whereas with pay-per-click, you can get immediate results. The downside is that new people every day get involved in pay-per-click and spend a lot of money and don't make any money because pay-per-click is competitive and it can be rough. It's something that you do see people struggling with. So I want to encourage you to not start out with pay-per-click if you haven't done any of this before. Don't get me wrong, pay-per-click can be incredibly successful because once you have something that works, you can scale it and people make crazy, crazy money with it. However, it's complex and it takes experience and you really have to be good at selling things and to do this. Whereas with some of the other methods we're going to talk about, they're free, and if you're not the best at it at first, it's not going to be a big deal. But with this, if you're not the best, you're going to get eaten alive. So just a fair warning. But again, I want you to understand what exactly pay-per-click is. Now, of course, there are other methods of pay-per-click. We can go over to Bing, Microsoft search engine, and do a search for dog training, and you'll see that there are ads as well. Now, I'll tell you what. Everybody knows Google. Google is the most popular. It is the most expensive. Microsoft's pay-per-click program, you're going to find that the ads are cheaper. Of course, the traffic's going to be less too, but there's still a lot of traffic. Even places like Facebook have their own pay-per-click ads too. So it's a big universe, and it is certainly something that you may want to consider, and that's what pay-per-click is. Article marketing. Article marketing is essentially creating and distributing articles to numerous places on the net where they will in turn be distributed to a wide range of webmasters and publishers. Okay, that's a pretty big sentence there. Let's go ahead and look at an example. E-zine articles is the most popular article directory. What happens is people go out and for free, this is a free method, create an account with e-zine articles, and then they just start writing articles about whatever they want to promote. So let's say, for example, let's just pick something from the front page here. A guide to avoiding car insurance tricks. Someone sat down and wrote an article that contains helpful information. So the goal here is that somebody is looking for car insurance, and maybe they're concerned, our company's going to be shady. How do I know I'm getting the best deal? So here we go. Here's the article. So because e-zine articles is a popular site, it gets a lot of traffic. So what means is you create an article and you can be assured it's going to get read by people. So here's the trick. People write the article. They're not just writing for fun. Hopefully they're not just writing for fun. At the end of the article, they have a chance to promote their own website or their own product. So essentially what happens then is, somebody comes here and reads the article and they say, hey, wow, you know what? This is a well-written article. I'd like to learn more, or I've decided that I want to buy this product, and there you go. So let's say, for example, that somebody comes to e-zine articles looking to read a review on a product, such as doubling stocks is a popular stock program. Okay, doubling stocks review exposed. What the others won't tell you. Wow, you know what? If I'm looking to buy this product, that's going to really catch me, and I'm going to want to read this article. So then, of course, the article is going to convince you why you need to buy the product, and then they will, have their link, to learn more. Or sometimes they might tell you why the product won't work, and then, of course, mention theirs. So there's another advantage to article marketing. These articles here, once you publish the article, you are giving others permission to copy your article and post it on their own website. But here's the trick. They have to keep your link with the article. So what this means is if you write a good article, you will find that it is then published on multiple sites across the internet, resulting in more traffic. So people do article marketing to get backlinks to their websites because, of course, you're going to have these links in there, but they also do it for traffic. What you also find is if you go to Google, because the article directories are so popular, when I do a search for a doubling stocks review, you will see that the very first result is an easy article. So what this means is if you do proper keyword research, which is, that takes some time to understand, but essentially if you target the right keywords, you can get them to rank in the search engines, which can really bring about a lot of traffic. And again, this doesn't cost anything to do, so it's certainly an avenue worth pursuing. So that's what article marketing is. Search engine optimization. Essentially, search engine optimization is the practice of getting your site prepared for the search engines. Let me move here to my definition. The process of improving your website to make it more search engine and visitor friendly. What this means is, if you go out there and create a website and throw it up there and hope that traffic's going to come, well, you're going to be a little bit disappointed because it takes more than just getting your website out there. You have to make sure that it is optimized for the search engines because the search engines have an incredible task in front of them. As you know, the internet has so much information, and whenever you sit down and do a search for something, if I do a search for, of course, dog training, Google is going to return what they believe to be the most relevant results. So what this means then, of course, is that the site at the top is going to be the best site in Google's opinion on dog training. So if you create a website then on roller skates, or let's say how to roller skate, well, you're going to have the task of convincing Google why your site is the best. And in order to do that, you need to practice search engine optimization. Now, there are some things that we'll cover in some later videos in this toolkit as far as how to apply search engine optimization to your page. But it's a variety of factors. It's writing your page in a certain way. It's taking the time to research the types of keywords that you want to rank for and then kind of working backwards. It also means getting lots and lots of links to your site. In fact, many people argue that is 80% of the battle is getting a lot of links. So, and I've found that to be the case too. So that's what it really comes down to, and that's what search engine optimization is. CPA marketing. This is something that you do hear quite a bit of talk about, especially recently because it has gotten very popular. CPA marketing is basically when you get paid per action. We talked before about selling products through ClickBank or even Avon, and of course you only get paid when you make a sale. Well, CPA marketing is a little bit different. It's getting paid a commission on a cost per action basis. What this means is it's not necessarily a sale that you get paid for, it's a determined action. So let's take, for example, let me see if I can find a live example here for you. If I am looking to go to night school, okay? I'm looking to go to night school online. Well, you're going to see that some ads come up because these people are trying to make money from your decision. And essentially what happens is, this one here, Education Connection. I'm going to type that in because I don't want those poor people to have to pay for me. And I'd suggest that you do the same. Okay, what happens then is I come here, and all I need to do is say, yes, I am interested in a certain school. So that means I don't have to get my credit card out. I don't have to buy an education. All I have to do is come to this site and then fill out a form saying that I would like someone to contact me about going to night school. And then voila, someone's going to get paid a commission on my lead. So think about that for a second. We talked earlier about trying to sell a dog training series, and if somebody buys it for $47, maybe you get half or 2/3 or 3/4 or whatever. That's going to happen sometimes. But think about how much easier it's going to be to get someone just to agree to sign up for information. That's the excitement of CPA marketing, because all of a sudden it is a heck of a lot easier to get a sale. Now let's look at another example. I don't even know how to pronounce this right. Is it Asiberry? Is that how you say it? Is a very popular weight loss method, I guess I should say. It's it's an ingredient, and of course we have a lot of ads being ran for it. So let's go ahead and visit one of them. Let's look at here, weight loss reporting. Okay. What this person is doing here is they are trying to get somebody to sign up for a free trial of this weight loss program. So you can see here that all you have to do is pay for shipping. So again, what happens here is, rather than having to sell, if you were just selling the product outright, it could cost $60. But now this person, all they have to do is pay the $4 for shipping, and then bam, the person gets a conversion. Why in the world is a CPA marketing firm willing to pay you $40 for this lead or $30? Because they know that once they get the lead, you're going to have the chance to sell to them multiple times. So that's really the amazement, the excitement. There are a lot of places that you can sign up for CPA, places like Copiec. Hydra is probably the most popular one, but there are literally hundreds of different places you can sign up to be a CPA marketer. Now, I will have to say this, that CPA marketing is more of a next step type of thing. People often start with something like ClickBank, and some of the CPA places it's a little bit more difficult to get into. But still, CPA marketing really works out well, and I would suggest that maybe you start with something like ClickBank. Once you get a few sales under your belt, then you look into CPA marketing, because it really is, there's a lot of possibilities there, and it's a lot of excitement. Marketing information products. Essentially what this means is going out, there's a couple steps, let me go through them. First, you research the market and get a good feel for things. Then you create a product for that market, and then promote your product to a target audience. So what this would mean, of course, is that you go out and, let's say, for example, you want to get involved in dog training. You would first go to the dog forums and find out the common problems that people have with their dogs. What types of things would people be interested in paying for a solution? Then you go out, unless you're an expert dog trainer yourself, which you may be. If you're not, that's okay. You go out and you pay someone to create a book for you on how to train the dog that's going to answer, of course, to the target audience. And you take that product and then promote it to the audience. So what happens then is, rather than selling other people's products, you have your own. And the thing is that it really is not that hard to create your own product. In the past, creating your own magazine, your own book, or whatever, there were immense costs associated with it. Whereas with the internet, thank goodness for the internet, you can sit down and with free software, you can create your own book and publish it to a PDF, and start selling it over a weekend, which is just insane. So again, you want to follow these steps, and you're going to see a lot of people talking about the power of making your own products, because of course you get 100% of the profits, and there's good reasons for that too. Now, I do want to say that again, this is more of an advanced thing. I would not suggest starting out doing this, because you might spend a lot of money for something that doesn't sell, and I would hate to be in that situation. So what people do is they start in a market selling other people's products, and when they see that the excitement is there, they go out and create their own products. So instead of getting commission, they're getting all of it. So that's essentially what the worth is of marketing information products, and of course creating them for yourself. Social networking. Social networking is all the buzz. Essentially, a social network site is any site where people go to network. This includes places like Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn, Dig, and about a zillion others. Social networking is very, very popular. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Dog trainer Twitter. Because I want to show you an example of a dog trainer that's on Twitter. Okay, here. This person is a dog trainer, and what they did was they set up a Twitter account, and they now have over 1,000 people following them. That means that they have 1,000 people that have said, yes, I am interested in this person, and I want to hear what they have to say. And then what happens is, on a regular basis, this person sends out something called tweets, and everybody that signed up, gets that. So this person is putting themselves in front of all their followers, several times a day, which is a fantastic way to not only share information, but of course to market yourself. So if you're a dog trainer, you go out and you create a Facebook account. Rather than connecting with your friends, you're going to be connecting with people that you think you can help. And then you can use the social network to expand and grow, because the key is being good at what you do, because if you are and you're a valuable resource, then other people are going to come running to you, and you're going to find you have to work half as hard to build your list. Somebody has a dog and they love your stuff, so then they tell their friends who also have dogs, and before you know it, you have a viral campaign that's really got a life of its own, and you don't have to do too much work to promote yourself anymore. So then you're able to use the advantage of the social network to put yourself in front of them. That's essentially what social networking is. It's it takes some time to get the hang of it, but again, doesn't cost anything. Twitter and Facebook are really, really powerful right now. Those are both places that you can certainly go to build a list. And if you are not sure what you're doing, of course there are resources out there, but there are also you can go out like I did. I found this person on Twitter in like 2 seconds, and then I could just join this person's list and then see what they're doing and study that and learn from that and think about how I can do something similar without copying something similar, and how can it even be better. And that's really one of the magic things about marketing and being successful. Tool number 2, finding and registering a domain name. Over the next few videos, we're going to talk about why you need a domain name and how to go about and register, because obviously if you're looking to get into affiliate marketing and you are serious about things, you really should get your own domain name. We'll talk about the one that you should pick, and of course how to register and all that stuff. It's not really that hard, and it is something that I would encourage you to do. It only costs $9 or $10 to get a .com domain name, which of course is the best, and then it's something that you own for a year. So it doesn't cost a lot of money to do. It's not something that you have to do, but I do recommend it. So I'll see you in the next videos where we talk about what you need to know about getting your own domain name. Brainstorming domain names. Okay, so you've started to dabble a bit in affiliate marketing and you have an idea of the type of product that you'd like to sell. You need to come up with your own domain name so you can have either a website or maybe even just a small page about what you're promoting. So how do you go about doing that? Well, I would suggest that you brainstorm, that you think about possible domain names. I want to go ahead and show you GoDaddy is the most popular domain registrar, and it is who we're going to be using for example here. So let's say that I sit down and I come up with some domain names. I would encourage you to just write them down, and then you can come here and see if they're available. So let's say that I decide that I want it to be dog training. Okay, well, first of all, that is way too general, and unfortunately probably taken about 2 seconds after the internet went online. So it's not available. However, it's actually so general they didn't even give me they did give me some things that are available. Dog travel training, my pet training online. That's actually not too bad. So you can see how GoDaddy helps you. They say, sorry, this is taken, but here are some additional suggestions. Dog company training, pet memory training. Let's try it again. Let's say dog training help. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so the .com, of course, is already taken, but again, they give you some additional ideas here. Dog training support online. Okay, but that's not too bad. My pet training assist. So again, you kind of get the ball rolling, and then GoDaddy is going to help you along the way. Now, as you start to come up with different ideas, I want to ask you to compare them against some tips that I'm going to share with you right now. You want to make sure that your domain name is relatively short and easy to remember. Keep in mind, if somebody hears your domain name, let's say that they heard it on the radio, are they going to be able to remember it to type it in, or if their friend tells them about it? That's a good thing to gauge it against. So, you want it to be short and easy to remember, not too complicated. Now, of course, dogtraining.com would have been ideal, but you know what? The really, really good domain names are taken, so you gotta be inventive, and you can't always settle for the best thing. So you gotta just do your best, to have it be relatively short and easy to remember. Does not contain numbers or hyphens. This is a big one. Sometimes you see domains written like dog-training-online.com because obviously dog training online was taken, but with the hyphens it's not. The search engines do not like hyphens. Hyphens are weird. They're hard to remember, or people won't, put them in, and then they're going to go to the wrong site. I would encourage you to stay away from hyphens and numbers. Now, if there's a number in your business name, certainly it's okay. But generally speaking, I would not suggest adding numbers. Like you wouldn't want your site to be dog training 33 if there's no reason for it to be 33, because that's not going to fare well for you. Preferably a .com. This is really important. .com stands for commercial, and when you go to register your domain name, you're going to find that .infos are actually a lot cheaper. However, .infos are penalized a bit in the search engines. When somebody sees your site, or the search engine sees your site, they're not going to recognize you as being serious because you don't have a .com. It's unfortunate, but that is the way that it is. .nets are okay. They're not as good as .coms, but they're okay. But how many times do you see a commercial on TV for something and it's not a .com? Keep that in mind. You want to make sure it's free from trademark infringement. I wouldn't suggest having a website that was something like Facebook Secrets, because Facebook does not like their name in other people's domain names because they own the name. So keep that in mind too. Is it a good representation of your website? Sometimes, I sit down and I try to find a domain name, and when the ones that I'm looking for are taken, I start to kind of go off to the left, and I might end up with something that sounds good, but it's not a good representation of what I'm trying to sell. So that's actually bad. So, just keep all those things in mind, and, brainstorm and come up with a couple, and then kind of, narrow it down. Sometimes, you might want to ask your friends or your wife or your spouse or whatever, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And, just think about it, because it is a name for your business. It is not something that's easy to change. You set up a site with a domain and you start to promote it. You do not want to change it down the road because you're going to lose some things. So keep that in mind and take some time. I won't fret over it too much, but come up with something that's going to be good for you. In the next video series, we'll talk about what to do once you have your domain name figured out. Registering your domain name. Okay, now I want to take you through the process of registering your domain name. I am here at the popular registrar GoDaddy.com. And you saw earlier how I typed in some ideas for domain names. Let's say that I decide that I want to purchase my dog training help. Okay, I'm not saying it's the greatest domain name, just using it as an example. I'm going to go ahead and check it. I'm going to here add and proceed to checkout. Now here is the most important thing you should know about buying a domain name. They're going to try to upsell you about a bazillion extra services. Now, you don't have to take them. When I said that a domain name is $9, $10, $11, I meant it. However, they are going to try everything they can to get you to buy more. You do not need it. So I want you to follow along with me as I go about things. First, I'm going to go ahead. I already have a GoDaddy account, so I'm going to go ahead and sign into it. But if you don't have one, you can just go ahead and fill in your information here. In fact, I'm just going to make up information. I'm going to pause and do that. Okay, and if you're at a different registrar, of course the screen's going to look a little different, but the gist is going to be the same. We can see here that from the get-go, they want me to register the domain for 2 years. I'm going to suggest, especially just starting out, you don't need 2 years. 1 year is fine. So go ahead and change it to 1 year. Sometimes I've even seen them have it be at 5 years by default. So make sure that you check this stuff. It stinks that they're going to be a little deceptive like this, but that's how they are. Mike Jones, that's the name that I made up, for this video. So, okay, domains in this order. You can hit this just to see. There it is, my dog training help. Contact information, which is what I filled out in the last step. Okay, do you want your domain to be certified? I would not worry about that, uncertified. add hosting to your domain. Okay, in a later video series, we're going to talk about hosting. If you want, you can have your hosting through GoDaddy too. It is going to make things easier to have the hosting and the domain under the same roof. However, you're not necessarily going to get the best pricing. So it would keep that in mind. The videos are going to take you step through step on how to work with, domain registered to GoDaddy and then hosting to somebody else. So I won't worry too much about that. I'm not going to check on any of that. They ask if you want private registration, meaning that by general, whenever you register a domain name, anybody can go and see who the domain name is registered to, kind of like a car or a house. If you want to, you can have your domain registration be private, meaning nobody can see it. You can do that if you want. Of course, it costs money. Surprise, surprise. But I don't think it's necessary, unless you have something to hide. And if you're creating a business for yourself online, it's not always the best idea to hide something. So there's additional things here. Again, you don't need any of it. This extra stuff here. I just go ahead and I say, no thanks, I'm ready to check out. Please stop trying to sell me stuff, because if you don't, they're going to try to sell you even more stuff. Okay, now, review the shopping cart. Here we are. Actually, somehow I got 2 in there. Oh, sorry, just 1. They're trying to trick me again, because they're saying, hey, you know what? You're getting the .com. Why don't you get the .org and the .net too? So if you have a business, absolutely, I would go ahead and I would register the .org and the .net and even the .info, because you don't want your competitor registering the .net. But if you're just starting out and you're creating a site, to promote a dog training offer, I would not worry about it. Even if they're going to give you a discount, it's not really a deal. Trust me. Okay, so there it is. This is just going to cost me a little under $11. And then I can pay with my credit card. I can also pay with PayPal, which is pretty cool. That's how I do it. And then you can also, you just need to agree to the terms of service. And then you hit continue with checkout, and then you pay for it, and that's it. It's yours. Now, by default, after you purchase it, your domain is going to be, it's called parked at GoDaddy, because you see your domain is the way people find you. When people come to your domain name, your domain needs to send them then to your website. So the two need to be hooked together. So after we get our hosting set up, we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to get your domain name hooked to your hosting. So as of right now, we're just purchasing it, and in the meantime, your domain is going to be parked at wherever you registered it. So if somebody goes to your domain name, it's just going to say this domain is parked to GoDaddy, blah blah blah. So that is how you go about and you purchase it. You want to, of course, keep your login information so you can access your account later, which you will need to do once you get your hosting set up. So that's it. That's how you go ahead and get a domain name, and I'll see you in the next video. Tool number 3. Setting up a hosting account. Okay, so hopefully you now have a domain name and you are looking to create a website. You need somewhere to put the website. So think of it kind of like you have a house, but you need somewhere to build it. When you build your house, you need somewhere for it to sit on. You need some land. Well, your hosting account is your land, because even though you may already have your website that you created on your computer, you need to upload it to a hosting account for it to be live on the internet. So that's what a hosting account is, and that's, of course, is why you need one. Now, don't worry, hosting is relatively cheap. It can cost you just a couple dollars a month. So we're going to take you through, of course, how to find a hosting account that's going to work for you, and then I'm going to show you the most common things that you need to know with your hosting account. Mainly, how to set up your domain name so it's linked to your hosting account, and then also how to kind of find your way around the back end of things. So we'll go ahead and get started with the next series of videos. Why you need a website for affiliate marketing. Now, I got to tell you, this is a part where I do see people start to get intimidated, because they say, website, that sounds complicated. And I wanted to tell you, why it is important that you get over this bit of concern, realize that it's not that hard, and also why you really do need one. There are a lot of advantages to having a website, including it is something that you legally own. It is possible to go out and sign up for a Facebook account and do everything through that, meaning that you don't have to have a website. You can just get an affiliate link and start promoting your product that way. But the problem is you don't actually own it. Facebook could boot you to the curb, or Facebook dries up and it's not that popular anymore. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. But it's not something that you actually legally own. So a website, is. So it's kind of like, having a store, which is a, good thing to have because it's actually something that is yours. It's an asset. It gives you more control over your marketing efforts. Of course, if you're just promoting things through an affiliate link, you don't have an opportunity to pre-sell your customer. Pre-selling is very important. For example, let's say that I am looking. Let's going back to this example here. I am thinking about purchasing doubling stocks, which is a program to help you make money from the stock market. So I type in doubling stocks review, and what happens is these reviews come up, and this person has a website, and they wrote a review for doubling stocks. And actually, it skipped me past their review. Let's look at something else here. This person here wrote a review for doubling stocks. So I'm thinking about buying it, but I come to this site, and then certainly, I read this information, and it compels me to purchase it. So what happens is I came to the website already thinking about purchasing it, but the website turned the tide. It convinced me that I do need to purchase it, and then of course I go and purchase it. So having a website, gives you that ability to pre-sell someone. It gives you the ability basically to do whatever you want. It allows you to gain a footing in the search engines. If you are just promoting your affiliate link, then of course you're going to get sales, but you're not going to get any search engine results. If you have a website, you can promote your website, and then of course you'll get sales through your website. But what will happen is, it's more work in the beginning because you have to, go out and tell everybody about your website. But ideally, over time, you'll start to rank for terms in the search engines, and then you're going to get traffic that way. And then before you know it, you're making money without doing much effort, which is really, really nice. It allows you to pre-sell affiliate products, which I already mentioned. It also gives you an asset to your business, which I also already mentioned, but I think you get the gist here. Having a website is really, really important, and I strongly encourage you to go ahead and do that. It really is not that hard, as you will see in the next series of videos. Choosing a website host. Of course, there are lots and lots and lots of places that you can get website hosting. However, I would not necessarily go with the cheapest one because not all hosting is reliable. When looking at a website host, I would encourage you to look at past performance and reviews. You just go to Google and type in the name of the hosting company and review and see what people are saying about them. Pay attention to account limits. Sometimes you might get pulled in to a hosting account that looks cheap. However, it doesn't give you a lot. Things like bandwidth, which is how much transmission can occur. Every time somebody comes to your site and views a page, that's bandwidth. You want to make sure that you have enough bandwidth. You want to make sure that you have enough memory and space. Fantastico is highly recommended. Fantastico is a tool that comes with some hosting accounts that makes life a lot easier. I hope that you pick a hosting account that has Fantastico because it makes life so much easier. For example, WordPress is a very popular way to set up a website, and Fantastico will do it automatically for you. It automatically creates things like bulletin boards, image galleries. It's a really nice tool, especially for someone that doesn't know a lot about what they're doing, and it's a standard with many hosting accounts. Make sure it can expand with your needs. Perhaps you're going to get a hosting account that's just has space for 5 websites. Well, a couple months from now, you might want to add 5 more. Does that mean that you have to move everything? I sure hope not. I would hope that your hosting account can expand with your needs, which most major providers can do. Decent support and uptime. You know what? This probably should have been the first thing because it's really important. You could have cheap hosting, but if it's never online, that's not good. Now, I'll tell you what. I've dealt with some hosts for years, and every once in a while, my site does go down. It does happen. Most of the time, they claim that the sites are up 99% of the time, and if you're online all the time like I am, you notice that 1%. So it does happen, but you hope that it does not happen very often because time is money. Directly below this video screen, you can find some links to hosts that I have found success with. I think that they're safe choices, and if you like, you can check them out. Configuring your domain name. Okay, after you have chosen a host and signed up and paid, your hosting account is activated. Sometimes it's immediate, sometimes it takes a couple hours, maybe a day. you should be sent information on your name servers. What we have to do is we have to link our hosting account with our domain name. So what you need then specifically are your name servers. If you cannot find it, typically it is in your welcome email, but if you can't find it, just contact support. That's what they're there. They're here to help you. Say, hey, listen, I need to set my name servers, and what are they? So they go ahead and they send them to you, and then you need to take those and go into where you register your domain name and change your name servers. That's what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. So I'm going to assume that you registered at GoDaddy. If you didn't, that's certainly okay, but that's going to be what I use for the example. Okay, I am here logged into my GoDaddy account. I apologize that some things are blurred out, but I don't want to reveal everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on one of my domain names. Just go ahead and click on it. And you can see here there's a whole bunch of information. Down here in the bottom left is where it says name servers, and this is what I really want to be concerned about. I'm going to go ahead and click Manage. And again, they're going to be set by default to be GoDaddy's name servers. But we're going to go ahead and take care of that and switch it. Okay, so here it says, I want to park my domains, I want to forward, I want to have a hosting account. I have a hosting account. I host my domains with another provider. That's actually what we want. So go ahead and select that. And then right here is where you put your name server information. So what do name servers look like? Well, they're going to look something like this. It's going to be typically it's NS1 and then name of name server like that, and then NS2 name of name server, and there's typically going to be two of them, and you just put them in there, 1 and 2. Now it might not necessarily be NS1, it could be something else, but there's going to be two of them. That's an important thing. Okay. And then once you have that set, you just hit OK, and then it's going to say your name servers have been set, and then you're going to be good to go. Now, please note, this is not going to happen immediately. There's going to be a delay. It needs to propagate through the internet and all this crazy stuff. So, you set it, and then you go and you say, hey, it's not working. It's because it's going to take time. So I would give it at least a day, if not 2, before you start contacting people saying, hey, listen, I messed up. So if it doesn't work out for you, contact your host, because they're going to help you get it straight. Tell them what you did. Maybe they would even be nice enough to do it for you. But again, you just take the name server information that they provided you with, and you go into your host. And then if you didn't use, you go into your registrar. And if you did not use GoDaddy, just look and see, how to change the name server. And then it's just those 2 lines that you need to plug in, and then you're good to go. But please remember that it does take time. Okay, so once that's set, then it's time to go on, and we're going to just take a further look at what a hosting account looks like and some of the things that you should know from your hosting account. Understanding cPanel. I wanted to talk a bit about cPanel. Depending on what host you go with, you may or may not have cPanel. cPanel is probably the most common web interface. Your hosting account is going to have management software to help run your host. So think of it kind of like, if you have a Windows computer, Windows, of course, is your operating system. That's essentially what cPanel is. So I just wanted to take a few videos and share some things about cPanel with you on how to do some things. The hosts that I recommended that you use, just a couple that I threw out to you, they all use cPanel. So if you want things to be as easy as possible, go with them. Of course, if you don't have cPanel, you have something that's similar to cPanel, and you can still watch his videos and take something from it because, of course, they're going to be similar. Okay, here I am. I am logged into the cPanel of one of my hosting accounts. I just wanted to go through the most common things that I think that you should know. One of the really nice things about cPanel is that there are actual video tutorials. So even though I am a starting point for you, you can go through and view these as well, done by cPanel themselves, which is actually really cool. They didn't have to do that, and they did, so that's nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here. Email accounts. This is where we can set up the email accounts for the host. What this means is that for every host, every account that you have, you can have email accounts underneath it. And when you sign up for your hosting account, you were given specifics, how many emails you can have per account. So make sure that you're aware of that. But let's say you can create your emails to be whatever you want. So it could be your name, and then you create your password, and bam, you have an account. And that's it. Once your accounts are on here, then you can go to webmail to check them, or you can set it up that you can grab them through Outlook Express if you or your whatever mail program that you already use. You can take from that. Of course, if you have your own business, you want to have an email account that's on your site, of course, and that's how you do that right there. Spam Assassin, those are your spam settings for your mail accounts. You can also set up forwarders, meaning two different things. With this, it just means that you can go ahead and if somebody sends you mail to your account that you created, you can go ahead and have it forward somewhere else. You can even have it forward to an email account that is off the site. So that's also really cool. You can set autoresponders for your email too. If somebody writes to you, that you have something right back to them. Okay, let's move down here. File Manager. This is actually really important. If you ever wanted to upload files or pull files down from it, you can do it this way. We're going to talk in the next video about FTP, a way to upload things a lot easier. But let's just say, for this sake, if you wanted to do it this way, here we go. And it goes ahead and it shows you all the files, and from here you can download files, you can edit files, all different kinds of things. Kind of like similar to Windows File Manager. You can look at your disk space usage. You can also create FTP accounts. Logs. This is helpful stuff. You can take a look at the latest people that have been to your site. I like to use AW Stats because this is a really nice stats program. This is a domain that I really don't use, so there's not going to be many people that have came here. You can see I started it with good intentions but didn't really do anything with it. But you can go ahead and these stats break things down. You can see how people found your site, and how long they were on each page, and how many people came on what day. It's pretty cool stuff, and certainly important if you want to study how well your site is performing and where people came from, and of course why. You can also download your stats to analyze them in an external program. You can also password protect things. We can create subdomains, add-on domains, redirects. If your hosting account came with databases, here is the MySQL database, which is really important. And then we have software here. Oftentimes, even if you don't have Fantastico, which this account actually doesn't, even though I told you need it, how about that? Here we can do things like set up a clock or a guest book. We can configure our own arrow pages. We can set up cron jobs, different things like that, and of course contact support. So that's essentially cPanel and how it works. I would encourage you to get in there and get comfortable. In the next video, we're going to talk about once you have your website files, how do you get them onto your hosting account. And even though you can do that through File Manager, I'm going to suggest that you do it with an FTP program. It doesn't cost anything, and I will see you in that video. I'll see you there. Understanding FTP. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and essentially what it is it is a program that allows you to take files on your computer and upload them to your hosting account, which is your website. If you're an experienced webmaster, you may already have an FTP program that you paid money for. QtFTP is the most popular, and I use that, but I also use a program called FileZilla, which is free, and I can certainly recommend it because it's really nice, especially for being free. But don't let that fool you because it actually has a lot going for it. You can download it here at this location, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to take files from your computer and upload them to your hosting account through FileZilla. Now, in the later videos, we're going to talk about how to actually create the files. So for the time being, you're going to have to pretend that you already have the files, or come back to this video later once you have them. So let's go ahead and open up FileZilla. Once you download it and install it, it's a pretty painless procedure. Once you have it, I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so here we are. I have FileZilla opened up, and basically what's going to happen here is there are going to be two windows. The one is my computer, and the other is going to be our host. And what we need to do is we need to transfer the files from one to the other. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and find whatever files I want to upload to my website. I find them on my actual computer. And there they are. Let's pretend those are the ones that I want. And then I'm going to go ahead and enter my information here that you should have from your hosting account, which would be, of course, your domain name, and then your username and password, whatever you need to be able to access your account. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to one of my hosting accounts. Okay, so I'm connected here, and you can see here these are the files. Now you don't want to just start moving files. You want to make sure that you take them to the right place. And basically, we have these different things here. Public underscore HTML is what we want to concern ourselves with. I was fooled the very first time I did this. I went to www. That's not what you want. You want this. I'm going to go ahead and double click that, and there we can see all the files that I already have on there. Which, if it's a new account, it might be blank. So to move a file over, you just take it and you drag it over and drop it, and then it transfers over. Oops, sorry, you can ignore that. So it transfers over. So of course you can highlight multiple ones or even folders, and then move it over, and then it just goes over. You can also take it, and it works the other way. You can move files from your website back over to your computer. So what will happen then is, we'll move them, and we can take these files on our computer and then edit them with an HTML editor, which we're going to cover in just a minute. And that's basically how it works. And FTP is not hard. This is a great way to update and change your site. And again, it doesn't cost anything, so you can't beat that as well. So the next thing we need to do then is figure out what in the world, how are we going to come up with actual HTML files. Don't worry, it's not that hard. We're going to go ahead and start at the beginning with that too. So that's how FTP works, and I will see you in the next series of videos to talk about how to create some basic web page files. I'll see you there. Tool number 4. Basic HTML skills. Now we are ready to start creating actual pages that we were going to upload onto our hosting account that can be used to sell things. Don't worry, it is not that hard. We're going to take things, a step at a time. This is by no means going to be an exhaustive course on HTML. It's just going to teach you the basics. So let's go ahead then and get started. Of course, you'll also want to refer to the accompanying book that'll also have the code a bit more laid out. HTML is, it's a coding language, but I don't want that to scare anyone because actually it's very, very simple. Most of HTML is going to be just, whatever text appears on your site. We just need a few tags to help separate, what is going to happen with words on the page. And we're actually going to use an editor that, again, is free, that has the ability to display what you see is what you get, which means that we're not going to have to sit down and write all this complex code. We're going to be able to edit things as a web page would look. So that might not make any sense, but bear with me and open up the next video and you will see what I mean and how easy this really will be. I'll see you there. Getting started with the HTML editor, I wanted to talk a bit about how web pages look. Essentially, let's just take a look at an example here. I'm just going to go to Google and randomly pick a site. Okay, how to train a dog. This is how the site looks. To you, however, this page is actually made up of something called HTML, which is actually code for web pages. And this is what the code looks like, okay? So you can see here that there's some stuff here, some gibberish, I guess you could say, and then we have the text that you see in the page, but then there's these tags that tell the web browser what it is. For example, this P here stands for paragraph, and that lets the web browser know that this is a paragraph, or H1 that lets the browser know that this is a header. So like a professional dog trainer, if we go back to the page here, you can see that this part is bigger because this is the header. So the reason that all these words look the way that they do, of course we have some bullets here and images and all that stuff. The way that the browser puts it all together is by looking at some code that's in there. So what we need to do is we need to get an editor, because of course I don't expect you to sit down and start writing code from scratch like this. Fortunately, there are tools known as HTML editors where you can look at the page like this rather than looking at it like the crazy code. You can actually get to see both, so that way as you change the code you can see how it looks, and that makes creating web pages and editing web pages a heck of a lot easier. In fact, it's not really that hard at all. So the most popular editing program is Dreamweaver, Adobe Dreamweaver, and it is excellent. That's what I use. However, it does cost quite a bit of money. So what I want to suggest to you is that you pick up a really nice free program that I've also used called Composer. It's available at composer.net. You just go there, and again, this is free software, and download it and install it. Now, if you do have Adobe, if you do have any other different kind of program, that's okay. The gist is going to be the same, but if not, go ahead and grab this. This is what I'm going to use in the following videos to demonstrate some basic HTML skills. I'll see you in the next video when we start to talk about how to construct a page. I'll see you there. Creating a basic page. Okay, creating a basic page is not that hard. I have Composer open on my laptop here. So what I want to show you is the way that it works, as do most decent editors. They show you the coding for the page, but they also show you exactly what the page would look like online. So there's a couple different ways that you can get started. Perhaps some of you will purchase a site from someone, or maybe a landing page, and then what you can do is you can tweak it in this editor, or maybe you're going to start from scratch. That, either way is okay. Basically, the layout of a page, it starts with this line here. This basically just lets the world know that this is a web page. This HTML here, and again, all this information is also in the book as well. Then we start with something called the header section. Basically, anytime, let me just forget about this for a second. Whenever a tag occurs, it starts and ends. So let's say, for example, I want to create a paragraph. Well, I start, that's the paragraph tag right there. It starts with that, and then I have my text there within the paragraph, and then I need to close the paragraph. So that's it. Right there, that's a paragraph. So the same principle occurs on the whole page here. We see the very first tag is the HTML tag that starts the page. It also ends the page. Okay? So that lets the internet know, hey, this is a web page. Next, we have two sections to the page, the head section and the body section. The head section is where we have a chance to tell the search engines what our page is about. When a human comes and sees the page, they do not see the head, just the search engine. So this is a very important thing to do, because of course it's very important that we explain to the search engines what our pages are about. Then between the body here, this is where we have a chance to write our page. So you can see here that I wrote, "Hi, this is my web page." I go here to preview, and hey, look, there it is. Note, you don't see any of this header stuff. It's simply not there. So that is the basic layout of a page. Now, of course, there are tons and tons and tons of tags. How in the world do you go from something like that to something like this? Something like this, of course, is made up of quite a bit of code. Let's take a look at this code. Okay, so it starts off again with the HTML, and then we have the head section. Now this information here, this is style information. It's a bit more complicated. We're not going to worry about any of that right now. Scroll down here. These are meta tags. We're going to talk about those in a later video. And then we get to the body. So again, all this stuff here, information that the person is not going to see, but it is important to the actual page. Here's the body. Okay? So this is where all the content is. Now, you might be saying, what is all this stuff with the tables? Essentially, a table is when things are sectored off, like here. This is a table here. It has 3 columns, maybe a little similar to a spreadsheet table. I guess I can make that correlation. Here's a column, and here's a column, and here's a column. How does this all get sectored off? oh, it's done in the coding. Again, that's a bit more advanced and not something that we're going to be doing. I'm just, just showing you how all this works. So, if you're looking at this and your head's spinning around and around and around, one thing you can do is you can pay somebody to create a website for you, to promote your affiliate offer, or you can just purchase what's known as a landing page. You don't need to have some big fancy website. Maybe you can just have your website just be one page, and that's certainly okay. But I want you to understand how to make simple edits on your page, because you want to be able to do that. You want to be able to put in your affiliate link and all that kind of good stuff. And that's why, we're talking about what we're talking about. So, in the next few videos, I'm going to talk about the most essential basic skills. Now, if you're looking at this saying, hey, this looks really cool, I want to get involved, that's great. These videos are a starting point, but I would highly suggest that you go out and purchase a book on HTML. That's the way that I learned. Actually, I learned from HTML for Dummies. They still make it. Because honestly, it's a really good thing for somebody starting at the beginning, because it's of course all the information is online too, but I found it difficult to try to build my site and then go back and forth to the teaching materials, whereas I had the book sitting next to my computer and I was able to reference it whenever I wanted. It just made life a little bit more easier for me, so that's why I'm suggesting it to you as well. So again, you can get around this by paying someone to design things for you, but it is really smart to have the basic skills under your belt, which is what we're going to talk about in the next few videos. I'll see you there. One of the most basic things that you need to know how to do is how to add a link and anchor text. Now, what actually is anchor text? Well, let's go ahead and go back to our example here. As you know from surfing the web, when something is blue and underlined, that kind of signals to us that it can be clicked on. It's actually a link. And what happens is we need to specify in the web page two different things. We need to specify, when somebody clicks the link, where is it going to take you? And also, what does the link say? So that's what we're talking about. When I click on this, I am not taken to a place on the net called Puppy Training. I am taken to this page right here. So how did the website know to do that? Well, it's in the coding. So that breaks down to two things. Of course, we have our link, and then the text that appears that's clickable, that is known as anchor text. Anchor text is actually really important because it tells the search engines what the page is about. It also tells the visitors too, because for example, if I'm looking to learn more about puppy training, obviously this is where I want to click. So whatever anchor text you use to create a link, that's going to send the signal directly to the search engines that is what that page is about. So let's say, for example, that you want to rank for the phrase best puppy food. Well, then, of course, you want to make sure that you use that text in your link, and that's how that works. So how, of course, do you do that? Well, I'm going to give you the code here. This here, the ahref equals, and I'm sorry, this should actually be in quotes here, quotes, http, / and then whatever your link is, and then there should be a quote right there, and then that, and then this is the anchor text right here. So again, we have the link, and then we have the anchor text. So let me go ahead with a live example. This right here, that's the beginning of my web page. I'm going to go ahead and put a break in here. BR creates a page break. I'm going to create another one. And then what we'll have here, just make some room so you can see this, is I'm going to create a link. I'm going to start off with href equals, and then the link's going to be in quotes. I need to have the address with all that good stuff there. Google, I'm going to go ahead and link to Google, like they need any more links, right? And then I'm going to close it with that. And then I have my anchor text. Visit Google's official site here, okay? And then I need to end the anchor text by doing this code here. And again, this is also in the book too, and make life a little bit easier for you. Okay, so now let's see what that looks like by going down here and hitting preview. Okay, look at that. This is clickable, and if I click on that, I am taken to Google's website. So pretty cool, pretty easy, huh? So that is basically how you make a link, and that's the text. And this is really important because not only for your web page, but you may, if you write an article, get into article marketing, you're going to have to know how to create links. If you create your own blog, it's something that you need to know how to do. So there you go. It's not really that hard. Just make sure that you include those quotes there. and use exactly what I showed you here, and that's what you need to do. Adding images. This is also another very popular thing that is important to know how to do, and of course this is adding images to your website. And what we do is it's similar to creating a link. We're going to use tags. Only they're going to look like this. We need to start it off with the IMG, of course that stands for image, and then SRC equals, and then again I don't have the quotes here. They should have been. I apologize for that. The quote, and then of course this is the location of the image right there, and then the end quotes, and then we specify the width and height of the image, and then we end it. And that is the image code. So let me go ahead and demonstrate this. I'm going to go ahead and put an image in here. I'm going to add another break and another break just to create some line space. And I'm going to start it with the IMG space SRC equals, and then the quote, and then the location of my image, which actually right there. And then I'm going to have quote again. I know that that's long. Okay, and then I end it like that. Okay, let's see what that looks like. There we go. Look, there's the image. It came right in. Now we can also, of course, when the search engines look, they don't view the image. They just read what the image is. We can also add what is known as the alt tag, where we can write what it's about. So I could put dog obedience training. That could be a description of what the image is. Okay? And again, you don't see that. That's just for the search engines, but that's how that works. So that is essentially it. Again, the code is in the book, but that's how you create an image. It's not that hard. And the one thing I didn't do there was I didn't specify the height and width. Let me just go ahead and show you that. If you don't specify it, it just goes ahead and takes the image at whatever size the actual image is. But if you wanted to change it, make it smaller. Let me go ahead and do that. We're here still in this tag. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put height equals 100. And then I don't need to put the width because it's going to scale it. So to make the height, to take it down to 100, it's automatically going to have the width, to scale. Now, if I wanted to stretch the image, then I could have it, let's see, I can make the width 100 also. And as you know, that's not really how that image is meant to be viewed, and it doesn't look quite right. But again, you can pull images around and stretch them, or if you wanted to eliminate that, then the image is just going to be pulled in at its default size. So that, of course, is how you add an image. Understanding meta tags. I wanted to talk a bit about the section of a web page that the search engines see. These are known as the meta tags. And of course, if I show you here, that's between the header section here. And you're going to go out and find that just about every page, if the webmaster's smart, they've done their meta tags, because you're foolish not to. So let's talk about the first one, the title tag. This is possibly the most important part of your page because it's a big deal. The title of your page is kind of like the title of a book. It's representative of what the book is about. So simply put title and then the title of your page, and then the ending, the closing tag. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's put a title in here. Actually, it's already in here. So right there, title, and then just put it here. This is the title of my page, and then close it with that. And that's it. That's the title tag. Now we go to the preview, and you don't see anything. Actually, the title of a page does appear in a browser. Let me go ahead and show that to you. The title is what appears right here. So the title of this page is How to Train a Dog, and then so forth. So when you do a search on Google, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, what comes up here is the title of the page. So there you go. Title certainly is important. Okay, moving on. Let's see here. Description meta tag. This is also important, not as important as the title, but still important. This is a chance for us to describe what the page is about. And this is the code that you use. Meta name equals description, content equals information on dog training includes help with barking. That was the description that I went ahead with. So what I would do is I would just take that, copy it, and then paste it right into my page, which could be, I could have it be right here. Keywords meta tag. This is also another chance for us to tell the search engines the keywords that are important in this page. Oftentimes, if you're trying to rank for a keyword phrase, you certainly want to make sure that you put them in here. The coding, again, is just meta name equals keywords, content equals dog training tips, dog training information, and whatever else is relevant. Now, back in the good old days, people used to keyword stuff, meaning that they would put about a bazillion keywords in here, and that trick doesn't work anymore. In fact, it can hurt you. What I would suggest you do is not go crazy and just have 5 to 10 keywords in there that describe your site. You don't have to do it. Some people even say it doesn't really count that much anymore. So that's something that I guess you could argue with people about. But I do it because I think that it's not going to hurt as long as you don't overdo it. Okay, the robots meta tag is also something that you see a lot of. Basically, what this does is it's used to tell a page if you don't want the search engines to index your page. So let's say, for example, that you have a page that's private that you don't want the search engines to be pulling up. You would create this tag here. There is also a way to make this tag, change this tag so they know to follow, but the default is that they will follow, so you don't actually need it. So this actually isn't that important of a tag, but I wanted to include it just to include it. So that's the meta section, the basic gist of it. And you should now have an understanding of how website works. Now, we had talked before about how to take these files and upload them with your FTP. Of course, you would just go in here and save the pages, and then you would connect with your FTP program and upload them to your site, and then they will look just like they do here. Pretty cool, huh? So, again, if creating a web page is going to be difficult for you, you can learn, but if it's something you really struggle with, why not go out and pay someone to do it? You can go to a place like Rent a Coder, Get a Freelancer, places like that, and just spend $20 and have a landing page created for yourself. It's actually not a big deal. And then of course, since you'll have a starting point, then you can go ahead and change things around as you move forward. So that is how it works. I hope that it makes sense, and I hope that it encourages you to go out and learn more about how to code HTML. It's really not that difficult. Tool number 5, developing a marketing mindset. Before I cut you loose, I wanted to just spend a little bit of time about talking about getting in the right mindset. You picked up this video series because you're new to marketing, and I just think that it's very helpful for someone new to know a couple things about this industry, because this industry is quite a bit different than other things. I'm sure that many of you have jobs and you're used to working 9 to 5, sitting down at a desk or whatever, and internet marketing is a bit different because you don't have a boss standing over you. You're not working with a team a lot of times. You're working on your own, and sometimes you can work on a project and not see the benefits of it for a while. So it's quite a bit different than going to work and doing whatever and getting a paycheck. It's very different. It can be very rewarding also, but unfortunately sometimes things don't go like you hope they would. So my hope is that I can share some of my wisdom with you, I guess if you can call it that. I have been doing this for a long time, so I can share with you some missteps that I took in the hope that you won't take them, and just kind of give you some helpful advice as you move forward on that internet marketing ladder. I'll see you in the next video. The newbie pitfalls. Okay, starting out, there are some crucial mistakes that people can make that can bring about an end to your internet marketing career. And I don't mean to scare you. I just want to tell you how it is, because I want you to succeed. So knowing that, let's talk about some common things that people fall into. Okay, being afraid. This is a big one. Maybe you've worked in a job all your life and you've always taken orders from somebody. Well, now the tables have turned, and you are 100% responsible for your success doing this, and people are afraid to do it. They don't believe it themselves. They think that maybe they don't have what it takes, and you couldn't be more wrong. You totally have what it takes. It's internet marketing is, honestly, it isn't some huge, hard, tremendous thing. It just takes time and patience and dedication. And you get out there and you start doing something, and just because it doesn't make you rich overnight does not mean that you should stop. So you need to believe in yourself, and you need to get off your chair and just go for it. Another problem is people can jump from one thing to the next. If you get any type of internet marketing emails in your inbox, you probably noticed that a lot of them have a great deal of hype in them. They're always talking about the new greatest thing and how to make tons of money. And I'm not saying that that's not the case, but I will say that it is very common for people to purchase a product with the best intentions of seeing it through and becoming successful, and they take a couple steps and then something else comes out, and instead of seeing through what they started, they go on to the next thing, which sounds like an even better way to make money. And the thing is, you're going to end up starting a lot of projects and never finishing any, which means that you are throwing money away. So just be really careful. Now in the beginning, it is certainly okay to spend some time looking around and trying to figure out, early in the series we talked about the many different avenues that you can go when getting involved in internet marketing, and that's certainly okay. But once you get a feel for what you want to try, pick one and really stick with it. Stick with it at least until you're making some money, and then you can decide if you want to stick with it some more. Analysis paralysis, or however you even write that. The gist of this is that sometimes people really want to make things perfect, and internet marketing is not about being perfect. It is about getting something out there and looking at it and saying, how can I make it better? Some people, they just take way too much time planning things out and never take enough, don't spend enough time taking action. You just need to get out there and do it. And I'm not saying that you should jump into anything, because of course you want to take the time to learn things and make smart decisions, but just be careful that you don't spend too much time thinking about things, and make sure that you dedicate time to actually do things. Running out of money early, you need to stick to a budget. Pay per click, I've seen many people sit down with hundreds of dollars, and before they know it, they're out of money, and they weren't tight enough for their budget from the beginning. You need to, every penny counts, and before you purchase a product or before you purchase ad space, make sure that it's going to be a good investment for your business, because if you lose too much money, you're going to be out of the game, and that's not good. So look at the methods that don't cost much, so you can at least get some money coming in before you start spending a lot of money on other avenues. Working alone is a tough one, because nobody in my family does internet marketing, so I can't sit down at the dinner table and talk about this kind of stuff. My wife knows more than she'd like to, probably, and that's nice to extent. But again, it's not the same as working in a job where you have a coworker that's in a similar situation. It doesn't need to be this way, because there are lots of forums out there, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, where you can meet people doing the same stuff. And the internet is a big place, and even though I wouldn't suggest going on a forum and sharing all of your secrets, there's no reason you can't get out there and make some contacts and network, make some friends. I'm glad to say that I've made quite a few friends that I chat with from time to time, and you know what, we share tricks and tips with each other, because I know that it's going to help him, and he's going to help me, and he's not gonna go blab it to the world. We work together. So the point is that also I don't feel as alone when I'm doing this. I've come up with some ideas that I thought were great, but I ran them through a couple of my colleagues, and they were like, you know what, that's a pretty dumb idea, and it saved me some time. So again, working alone, it's tough, and it doesn't need to be that way. So I hope that you take these things to heart, and in the next video we're going to talk about the importance of setting goals for yourself. The importance of setting goals. This is really, really important. The thing about internet marketing is that you don't have concrete goals set for you like your boss may do for you. So it's going to be real important that you do things for yourself. I got to tell you, one of the biggest problems that I have personally as an internet marketer is that sometimes I just get in a mood where I spin my wheels. I'll just be going from one thing to the next, and what I've found is that when I do not have a clear action plan, I do not make the best use of my time. So what I try to do is start the week off by making a to-do list, and I write everything down, and then of course as I do it, I'm able to move forward. It keeps me focused, because I'm also able to look and feel good about the things that I got done as well. So when you set goals, you want to make sure that they are realistic. If you create too high of a expectation, then you're not going to meet them, and then you're going to be it's not going to be good. You're going to be disappointed with yourself, and you don't want to set yourself up to fail. So make sure that they're realistic. It's certainly okay to set a goal for how much money you want to make. Now, it's hard to, especially in the beginning, to be realistic because you haven't done this before. You don't know. But once you start to make money, think to yourself, what do I need to get from this point to this point, and then set a goal for when you want to be there, and think about realistically what is it going to take to get to that point. So you kind of work backwards in a sense. So the most important thing is that you hold yourself accountable and come up with some sort of plan of action and stick to it. Networking online. This is really important. We talked in the last video about 2 videos ago, sorry, we talked about the importance of not working alone and making contacts online. There are a lot of great places that you can go to meet people. The Warrior Forum is a really great place. I think that you'll find that people on here are serious about learning about internet marketing, and there are some experts on there as well that share a lot of good stuff. Digital Point is another place. There are a lot of people here. I don't frequent this one too much, but it is surrounded a lot more by people just starting out, which certainly can be a good thing. SitePoint is another place where you'll find a lot of people. V7N is another one as well, and you can find the links to all these places in the accompanying book that came with the video series. One bit of caution, you'll find a lot of people promoting internet marketing products on these sites, and just be careful because there certainly are things out there that will make you money and work for you, but there are people out there that are less than honest too. So just be careful because unfortunately there are some people that have less than good intentions on places. So look for things like reviews. Somebody's selling something. Are the people saying that it's good, or they never heard of it? Is this person credible? Things like that. But just go on there and start sharing. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and as you move forward, answer other people's questions. And then if you see people doing things similar to you, you can private message them and start to chat with them. I've made my friends by talking to them through instant messenger after I've conversed with them a bit on the forums. So, and that's why I find the relationship really builds when you start talking to people like that. So that's how that works. And I think that you'll find that if you reach out, a lot of other people are very receptive and they're looking for the same thing as you too. So there's nothing wrong with a few people working together to head towards success. Rinse and repeat. As you're doing marketing, it is super important to make sure that you're tracking what you're doing so you can really figure out what's making you money and what's losing you money. And then of course when you find something that works, what can you do to expand it? You should never be satisfied with something that's making you money. You should always try to push it to make more. One thing is, how can I scale this? If I write one article that makes me these sales, what can I do to expand upon this? Can I write other articles on the same topic, or can I develop a site on this topic, or can I start pay-per-click on this topic? There's always ways to make more money. And of course, if you have a site that's doing well with sales, what can I do? Can I change the ad copy to make more sales? Can I build a list to market to people over time? Just the thing is that you want to also make sure that you are trimming things away that aren't working for you as well. Sometimes I find it hard to abandon a project that hasn't made me money, but I need to look at things realistically, and if I've worked really hard and it just doesn't seem like it's going to work out, then it's pointless for me to spend more time or money trying to turn it around when it's something that can't be turned around. So you want to be as objective as you can while still giving it the old college try. So that's basically the thing of marketing. It's an ongoing process. It's something that you always want to dedicate towards making yourself do better. Okay, well that's about it. I hope that you've enjoyed this video series, and I hope that you'll get out there and you'll start diving in, because I gotta tell you, the big difference in succeeding in internet marketing is not how much you know when you start out. Everyone has to start out somewhere. It's that people they take an interest, but then they don't see it through, and then of course you're not going to make money. The thing is, you got to get out there and you got to try. And if you try something and it doesn't work, you got to pick yourself up, figure out what went wrong, and try again. That is the difference between making a go of it and making a no-show of it. So I highly encourage you to take action. Take some time and dive more into the topics that I introduced you to today, and take those basic skills and move forward. So start that climb towards success, and I'll see you at the top.